Hey folks, and welcome to the Pipnotic Symposium for the 10th of August 2021. Today we're going to look at a few different instruments. We'll start off with the Australian index. So if we have a look at the daily chart, I mean, price is really rallying pretty strongly. We had this nice area of, let me zoom in a little bit, had this area of supply. This is supply because when price left here, we managed to move beyond this this price structure here. Price tested it several times, once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, 9 times, and then price tore through it. And so the area that removed it is this one here. So the software saw this and said, we'd like to buy here. The limit order was placed here, the stop just below, or 2 times the size of this area, and price has wriggled north and not really turned back since then. But notice we're starting to print some white bars currently up here. And so if we go down to the smaller time frame and try and understand what's going on there, you'll notice that we have, actually it's probably easier on the hourly chart, you notice that we have a divergence occurring, and you can see that here. Wait till the software to load. You can see that we have higher highs on the price chart. We have lower lows, lower highs on the histogram. So if we just draw that very quickly, we're starting to see that here. Price went up, histogram's going down, and we're starting to do a few other things as well, where we had market structure like this. And now price is challenging these lows here, which is the beginning of the buy zone. You can see the reason it's a buy zone is because price turned at this price point here. So this was historically an attractive price. This is a very short time frame, an hourly chart. And so now price is currently sitting actually exactly on that level. If I use from the low to the low, yeah, we're almost exactly on that price point there. Okay, so price is down here now, and so what you have to do in a situation like this is you have to try and understand what the flows are doing at this price point. And you can see that we had an attempt, we go to the 30-minute chart, we had an attempt to run price high, but we saw some rejection at that price point. And so you're seeing we had an agreement in price here all day yesterday, but we also had price leaving this. So we had kind of an agreed trading range here. Okay, price entered from above. We went above it, below it, really below it, and then we went up really far above it. Okay, so this is liquidity exploitation going on, and you can see that price really went far. We went above this high, and then price turned around. So when you see something like this, this is an attempt to advertise high prices to attract selling or to attract profit taking. And you can see that going on here. Okay, so if you go down to the smaller time frame, we'll go to the 15-minute chart just to see if we can eyeball some levels. You can see that we had, a couple of these ranges. Let's just draw these on like here. Okay, price went below. We had an attempt above, failed, then we had that really big one, and now price went below. And so this really strong push challenging these highs, notice also we gapped down. Okay, this is interesting. We attempted to close the gap, we didn't really make it all the way. This one closed the gap and continued to move a little bit higher, and so now we can expect that maybe price will wriggle a little bit lower for the time being. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we do have, so you can't see it on this chart. I just want to look at this here, see if we have a liquidity void there. Here we do. So we have this price point higher. So this is the buy zone. So the demand is here. The buy zone is here. And so we have black space from here. So this is an interesting spot because we can expect this to close. Okay, so price will return to this area of demand. Price tried to move down there, but we failed, so we still have to rebalance this price inefficiency. And below that, what do we have? We have this one here. Okay, we had this one, it was balanced. We had this one, price came pretty close, we define the buy zone, which is just here. Now price is wriggling pretty efficiently higher. We had this price inefficiency, liquidity void, price attempted but failed, and so this is an obvious place for price to gravitate to. This one's been rebalanced, and so I'm thinking short term. I mean, over the coming hours, maybe see price continue to wriggle a little bit lower down into here, and then ultimately back down to this one, which is a 15-minute area of demand. It's a child. This is a parent. Tested, price attempted but failed, and now we're starting to show a lot of signs of divergence, where we're having higher highs in price and lower lows in the asset strength. So maybe we can find a nice area of supply just in here, which is responsible for removing the demand in here that was tested several times. See if we can do that. We'll probably have to go to the 5-minute chart. So if we zoom in a little bit more, okay, so we have a couple of options. We have this one here, we have this one here. I'll probably have a small reaction from this price point here before price comes down and rebalances this one, before it maybe has a wriggle more. And so we have two price sensitive levels just here, and then a little bit higher up. This is not a pretty one. This is pretty ugly. This is also very, very early Asia. Australia, the Australian market opened, and so now price is starting to move a little bit. So yeah, we have a couple of areas to watch there. We'll see what happens. All right, so let's look at something else. Let's look at silver versus the American dollar. Wow, silver really selling off. Let's go to that. Yeah, so you see we have the buy zone is down here. Down here. Okay, the demand is here. We almost got to it. We have black space all the way from here to here, so that could be interesting. This is nice. It's a nice release, so this would be a price sensitive area. We also have this price inefficiency above price, now a downward sloping trend line, and so shorts from anywhere in here would be interesting, and interesting to follow as price rebalances down to the origin of this price point, which would be down here. So that might be something to look for. If we have a look for the details, you can see we had this price inefficiency. Price came up almost to the origin of this push. We still have this price inefficiency just here, this liquidity void. So price could easily wriggle north up to here to rebalance price before it continues its journey down to rebalancing this liquidity void here. So on the 15-minute chart, not a lot of trading going early in the day. Picks up late in the session, picks up very early yesterday, and then price kind of attempts to rebalance this. Got pretty close, I'd say, to this little price nodule here. We had an agreement in price. Okay, so buyers and sellers happy with their current price, lots of transacting going on here, and then price left. Now we're moving back up to this area, so we'll see where price goes. But looking at the histogram, it's pretty ugly. Very difficult to draw any conclusions when it looks like this. But going on to the hourly chart, we can see that price will probably continue to fill this. Had huge rejection here, so maybe a continuation higher to rebalance this before price continues lower. All right, let's have a look at the British pound, American dollar. So we had on the daily chart, price came down to this area of demand, which was tested once before. We went right to the edge of that area. Now we moved higher. We almost returned to the origin of this move. The sell zone was just below that. The sell zone's here. The origin of the move is just up here, so we have not yet returned. But we have this area of supply removed by this demand. is still exposed. So we can expect price to wriggle down here before it figures out what it's going to do next. But there are two scenarios. The first one could be that we come back down here and we return to the origin of this move, or we return to this and continue moving lower. Okay, but looking at the technicals here, we are in buy territory just here. We have this beautiful area of demand just here. Buy zone. Price is currently at the buy zone right now. So we'll have to see what happens at the London Open when price returns to this. This could be an interesting buying opportunity here. Further down, we have this one here, which is the origin of this entire move. Okay, and we have also a nice liquidity void here that needs bouncing at some stage in the not too distant future. So a couple of scenarios. A nice bounce from here. This has been rebalanced. We spoke about this during the last symposium. Price came off it, went down, it rebalanced this one, and the only thing that needs rebalancing now is this one here. So price could have a bit of a bounce here and then continue up here before it continues maybe lower to rebalance this. If we look on the bigger time frame, let's go to the weekly. Remove all of these objects. Yeah, we've rebalanced this. So now we could, I'm thinking price will come back up here to this weekly area of supply. Kind of rebalance price, return to the origin, and then a continuation and potentially a little bit lower. We've had some nice clear signals here. We've had some nice divergence alerts here. We had a high to the high, low to the low. We're told to sell at, let's draw from here. We're still told to sell here. Price came up, we formed this high, and then we departed. Okay, so we have pretty interesting kind of run higher, push lower, run higher, push lower, and now maybe a test of this area of supply before price continues lower. We'll have to wait and see what happens. That's what we have on the bigger time frame there. On the shorter time frame, maybe that's a little bit too short. Let's go to the 30-minute chart. Yeah, so we are testing that buy zone that we saw historically. Actually, this is on the hourly. So I think that this is a pretty interesting area just here. Robot found it beautifully. Thank you. Have this one, the buy zone here. This is just be a pretty interesting area, especially if price approaches that area. Early European session, that would be nice. Then I'm thinking that we'll see a continuation, maybe another push higher, shorter term, and then a gradual wriggle lower down to this, to the origin of this move here. Okay, so let's have a look at this. This is the American dollar, Japanese yen. Price is getting close to the origin of this move. Price came here, we left, we went back to it, we tested the child, and now we're building some flows, some bullish flows here where you can see this in the form of this here, how price rallied, accumulated, rallied. This is a beautiful area of demand. And price is getting up to here, so I'm thinking if this area just up here holds, price will likely wriggle back down to this area here, rebalance price before it continues what it's going to do. Because this looks like a very interesting area from around there. If we have a look on the smaller time frame,